fellow Metamaniacs, Mike the Pied Piper here, and I'm here with another Dragon Ball Super video. And this week I wanted to go over the new anniversary box cards that were all released. We actually got a view of them, all of them, yesterday, and I kind of wanted to give my personal thoughts on each and every one of them. I personally love the anniversary box just because it does enhance the value of a lot of your older cards from set 1, set 2, up to like set 7. Really like makes those older leaders that may not be meta, possibly meta. I know personally myself, I'm really excited about the Vegito cards that came out. I think it was needed. We'll kind of get into more detail with that. Also, to let you know how I did during the PPG tournament, just kind of a quick overview on that. The Zamasu deck actually did really well. There are some changes that I do need to make to it, just for consistency purposes. Like round 1, like that game, if literally I would have had the Zamasu in my game, that game, it would have been over. Could have played it, and then that way the board would have just been wiped and they couldn't play anything 3-drop or higher. And I ended up going 2-2. It was only a 1-round tournament. The next 2 rounds I did play a Broiley deck, and then the next round, I'm trying to remember what I played. I played a Broiley deck, and it wasn't a Ginyu deck. But I played those 2 rounds. They were both Argo decks and or aggro decks, and did really well with them. The last round I ended up playing was against a Vegito deck, and I kind of made a mistake during that game, thinking that I'm like, oh yeah, here's tragedy, like here's the field card for Zamasu, hey, no problem. But then Gogeta kind of get around that, and it was a blue Vegito deck that used Gogeta, and then it used Zeno to do triple strike as well, which knowing that now, if I was to play that match, or if it was best 2 or 3, the strategy I would have played against that deck was just keep playing my blockers for free. Or not playing my blockers for free, but keep playing my Friezas from the discard pile, the drop area, for 3 energy, and then that way I would have guaranteed every turn I would have had 2 blockers that easily could have taken care of those triple strikers. So, in retrospect, I would have done that. So it was a lesson learned, but I did make a few changes to the Zamasu deck, which I may actually do in an upcoming video. Alright, to get into the anniversary cards and kind of my thoughts on each and every one of them. The first one that we have is for Red Prison Frieza. Could be used for any other deck. Excuse me. Is we have Frost for the Clan, and it is a Unison card. Blocker. Activate main. If your leader card is a Red Frieza BR, look it up to 4 cards from the top of your deck. Add up to 1 mono red extra card among them to your hand. Then shuffle your deck, or you can -2. It's if your leader card is a Red Frieza BR. Add up to 2 mono red extra cards from your drop area to your hand. I really do like this Unison card with Red Prison Frieza. It does allow you to recycle your extra cards, and it also allows you to search for said extra cards. Great addition for Red Prison Frieza. I don't know if it's necessarily going to make it meta, but definitely a really good card to add to that deck. Next one I'm going to go through is Jiren, Legend of Universe 11. Instead of reading what every card does, because I'm assuming you guys can see it on the screen here, instead I'm just going to kind of go through my thoughts on this. The Jiren, Legend of Universe 11 is really good. Like, essentially you're paying 3 energy, and you can do a double striker, 20k double striker, and put a bunch of tokens on him. Can be really aggressive, and then also he has the ability to get rid of one of your opponent's battle cards that have barrier, minusing it by 3. So you could pay 3 red and literally neg something by 25, go right through barrier. This even goes through indestructible, because you're negging it 25. When you're negging it, it goes away not because of the ability, but because of the rules. This is just a really solid card to run in your deck. I know I will be running this more than likely in my Surge Coup deck. It's just a solid card for 3. Just so much you can do with it, and even if your opponent doesn't take care of it the first turn, you know, you're adding markers. You could essentially, I mean, there's just so much versatility with this card. So I think this card's just in general good with any red deck. Next, we're going to get into the Vegito cards. Son Goku Resolved Renewed. I think this card is definitely needed for Vegito because Vegito's front side does not have the ability to draw any cards, which is a major weakness of it. However, this is going to allow you to counterattack, play a Goku, so you have counters in your deck. You're actually able to add a life to your hand. Just an all-around good card. It's going to help you awaken. It's going to help you get out those Goku and Vegetas in order for you to get into the Vegito. Then we have Vegito Resolve Renew, which is instead of a counterattack, the counterplay. Again, another solid card. Pay a red energy. You can take a life. So it's helping you awaken, getting cards into your hand. And then not to mention, remember with Vegito's power, these are not just red cards. These are red cards, these are blue cards, these are green cards. So a lot of variety that you could play with these 2 cards to help you awaken and help you get out the Goku and Vegeta you need. Then we have the Vegito Resolve Combined, and this is the one that everyone's just like, oh wow, the big one. So first off, Union Patara, you get the Union Patara for free. For free with this guy. You don't have to pay any energy. You just have to have a red Vegito card, and if your leader's red Vegito, you draw 2 cards. And you just got to have a Son Goku and a Vegeta in play. Really solid card. Super easy to get this Vegito out. You could do it as soon as turn 2, and it has barrier. It has barriers, so it's even harder to get rid of. And then it has to activate main and battle, which is really good. You pay 2 red energy, which again, with Vegito, can be any Goku Vegeta. It could be a blue Goku. I mean, you're going to have all that variety. 2 red energy, you're going to search your deck for a Vegito card which costs 7 or less, which goes perfect with the 7-drop from the first set. I think the first or second set that's Triple Striker, and it gains power for each Goku and Vegeta that's in your drop area. So, I mean, you're getting this thing out as soon as turn, like, 1 or 2 that you could play this. But then, the big one is if you pay the 4 red, you can choose up to 1 Vegito card with an energy cost of 10 or less in your hand and play it on top of this card. This is where you can play the Vegito SCRs. And, there's actually 2 of them you can play. The one that you could play that I'm going to be doing is the one from set 2, the first ultimate card, the 10-drop, that's a triple attack or triple strike. I mean, can you imagine playing this on turn 4 with the 4 red energy and just totally just going right after your opponent? Solid card for Vegito. You could also play the blue-yellow one, the other ultimate card, the one that's got Zamasu on it and Kefla. You could play that one. The thing with that, it does have a little bit less utility. Yeah, you could draw 4 cards. I don't know. To be honest with you, I would rather play the one from set 2. But just, I mean, this is going to be a huge boost for Vegito deck. So, really looking forward to that. Then we got Frieza, the Irate Emperor. This is another card that can be used in Prison Frieza that really goes good with the red Frieza card that essentially shuts down your opponent from laying down anything unless they take a bunch of life. So it's an easier way to get this card out. I'm not too familiar with red Frieza or red Prison Frieza. I have faced it a few times. So again, I don't know if this is necessarily going to make it a meta card, but solid card nonetheless. Then we got Planet Vegeta's Final Moments. Again, another card that for red Prison Frieza, I don't know if this card is going to necessarily make it a meta breaking card. I don't know if red Prison Frieza is necessarily going to be like catapulted in the meta. But hey, I have been wrong before, definitely I can't wait to see when the anniversary box comes out and see how these work. Then we got Janimba, Wicked Agent of Destruction. We do have the Unison card with it. They created a whole bunch of cards that work with Agent of Destruction cards. A whole bunch of them, and we're actually going to start going through some of them now, and wow. This solid card only costs 2 blue to essentially play. You know, does help you filter. You get to draw a card, and your opponent, you know, you're drawing one. Your opponent doesn't neg one, but I mean, they could get something that they need because they're drawing one, and then they put the other one in their drop area. So that essentially costs 0. The big one is this one, -2 main battle. If your opponent has 15 or less cards in their deck, this card gets plus 15,000 power and triple strike for the turn. So it can kind of also go with the mill deck variety. I know a lot of Janimba decks still, like, they miss mill. They could still use this card, and then it would be plus 15,000 power and triple strike. So then we're getting into more of the Chaotic Agent of Destructions, which is that could be a extremely powerful archetype when this anniversary box comes out. When this card attacks, you'll get up to 5 cards on the top of your deck, add 1 Agent of Destruction in its card name, and then add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. This is just allowing you to find the Agents of Destruction cards that you do need. There is that SCR Agent of Destruction that you're going to want to use this card to be able to find. Again, Agents of Destruction, going to be a pretty powerful archetype, I think. Then we got just Janimba, Raging Incarnation of Evil, which I'm assuming is meant to be used with the Janimba decks. Deflect, critical, when this card is played, activate the skill. Start of your opponent's next turn, switch up to 3 of your mono blue energy to active mode, then draw a card. I do like this card. It allows you to go all in, tap out all your energy, play all your cards, and then when you play this Janimba, literally you just untap 3 blue. Reminds me of the old school, well, actually, it reminds me of the current SS3 Goku, where you could go all in and then you just untap 3 energy, and then you can just, you know, you could keep going. Then we got the combo attack Janimba. This one, be honest, I'm not too familiar with the whole Janimba archetype. I mean, it does sound like that you get to play this card from your hand for free, it looks like, if I'm reading this right. Card, battle area, return to owner hand, play this card from your hand. Yep, and add 2 cards. Up to 2 cards from your life. You can't play copy of this card for the turn. So it does help you awaken if you need to awaken. So this is a pretty good solid card for Janimba, but again, I just don't think Janimba is going to get into the mainstream. Now we have the Android 21 archetype card, Restoration, or Restoration. Counterattack, negate the attack. Then if your lead card is a blue 21, you got a blue-green multicolor card in your energy. Choose one of your Android 16 cards in energy, cost 2 in your hand, and play it. So this is just really good value. You're countering, and you get to play an Android 16 card, which could essentially be a blocker. I believe there is a 2-drop Android 16 blocker. I could be wrong on that one, but essentially you're countering, and then you're able to play a free blocker. So this is a pretty solid card for 21 decks. Again, now we're getting into more of the Agent of Destruction stuff. Double strike crit. Choose one card in your hand, discard it. When this card is played, choose all of your opponent's battle cards, annoying barrier, and KO them. This card I remember reading, and I was like, this is even good without Agent of Destruction decks. I mean, you're not going to be able to use the -5. But I can tell you right now, this card's just solid. 4 green energy, you choose 1 card in your hand and discard it, and when you play it, all of your opponent's battle cards, and ignoring barrier, and you KO them, and it's a double strike crit, and then you could still use his activate main to give him plus 5,000 power every turn. So, yeah, this card I could see just be running in any green deck, just to get rid of the opponent's board. But then just like, icing on the cake with the Agent of Destruction effect, you get to choose 3 cards in your opponent, or if your lead card's an evil wizard, or all of your cards are energy and mono green. So I take it back. You could still use that -5 effect if you use this in a mono green deck. But you could still use the -5, choose 3 cards in your opponent's hand and discard them. That is huge. So this card, honestly, I think it's going to be one of the stars in the anniversary box, is the Vegeta Resolve Agent of Destruction. Then we got Goku, the legendary Fusion Warrior. I believe this one is meant for the Gotenks deck, because you are finding Unison Fusion cards. I mean, I don't know if I would end up using this card. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like the Gotenks variant, I think they got a lot of cool stuff, but there's nothing that's groundbreaking that I think is going to break the deck. So, Sun Goten and Trunks Flawless Youth. Again, this is another card that's supposed to pair with the Gotenks. I believe it's set 2 liter, if I remember right. It was in the draft boxes. The one where you attack your opponent, and then if they have more cards in your hand, they discard one. So I did run that way back in the day. Again, I don't think these cards are going to make it like super, super viable, but still be a fun deck to play. That goes again with the Gotenks, the Grim Reaper of Justice. Solid card, again, costs 2 energy, and then you get to fuse the Sun Goten and Trunks Youth, and you do get a dual attacker. You are drawing a bunch of cards with this, because if your leader card is green, when this card is played, draw 2 cards, and you choose one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. I believe, if I remember correctly, there are green Gotenks cards that if you do use that as part of the fusion, they draw cards. So you could essentially, yeah, you're discarding 2 to do the Union Fusion, but you're also gaining, you could be gaining a lot of cards and doing a lot of hand filtering. So, then we get into the Chile and Limo. I have gone against a few Chile and Limo decks. I do love this card. It does give additional resources in order getting Dragon Balls into your drop area. One of the problems with the Chile and Limo leader is, in general, it is extremely slow to awaken because it only searches for 1 Dragon Ball and puts it in the drop area. This essentially makes sure that it's like, yup, they're going into the drop area. You're getting the 7 Dragon Balls in your drop area a lot quicker, and this just gives you even more cards in order to ensure that happens. You did have the Oob when you comboed, like there was the Oob from the one of the promos, or one of like the kits or what have you. There was one that if you combo with it, you put 3 cards in the drop area, but you had to draw that into your hand, and it was 4 cards. And a lot of times you had to get like 2 of those to hurry up and awaken to do what you want to do with a Chile Limo deck. This just adds where you can put more cards in your deck to ensure that you're getting your Dragon Balls in the drop area. Also, it has green. You can add up to 1 green Desire card from your drop area to your hand. Anytime you can rejuvenate Desire cards, yeah, it's green Desire cards, but there's some pretty good green Desire cards. This card's just good all the way around. It's even, helps you get the Dragon Balls into your drop area, and then once they are in your drop area and you're awakened, this is going to allow you to revive Desire cards from your drop area. And I believe they got that green Desire card that Chile and Limo can use that allows them to wipe the board. Wipe their opponent's board, and they can essentially do that for free. And this card allows them to revive that card, so insanely good. Then we got Broiley, Invincible Agent of Destruction. Activate main, cost 1, discard this card from your hand, add 1 card with Agent of Destruction in its name from your drop area to your hand. This just, again, adds so much value to Agent of Destruction, because now even if you do get your SCR in the drop area, and you need to search for it, this card's allowing you to search for that SCR or just any of the Agent of Destructions in your drop area. So this is insanely good. And then it has the auto: when this card is played, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and it costs 5 or less, KO it, then look at 3 cards top of your life deck, add 1 card, or top of your deck, add 1 card among them to your hand, place the remaining cards in your drop area. So again, you pay 3, you get to draw a card essentially, but you're looking at your top 3 for a card you're looking for. So again, you're looking for the cards that you need, and you're KOing something that's 5 or less. So just all around good. And then the Lord Slug Mighty Agent of Destruction. The bummer part is this is a super combo. You don't get to draw a card with it, but keep in mind that you get to rejuvenate this card essentially with Broiley, Invincible Agent of Destruction, because you get to add any Agent of Destruction from your drop area to your hand. So you could constantly revive your super combos. Unfortunately, again, The trade-off is you do not get to draw a card with a super combo. So, and then it does have the skill when your opponent activates a counterplay skill, they choose 2 cards in their hand and discard them. So this is just a solid card to play if you know there's a lot of those decks that are counterplay heavy. This ensures that they're going to pay the piper for it, and they're going to have to discard 2 cards. Yeah, that's right, I just inserted that pun there. Then we have Android 13, Exterminating Agent of Destruction, so we even have more Agent of Destruction cards. A solid counterplay card that if they play something that's 3 or less, it goes into their drop area, which a lot of people are playing those, you know, the cards that like negate basically 3 drops and they go directly in their drop area. Then not to mention, once this card is played, you get to shuffle a total of 2 of your Evil Wizard or Agent of Destruction cards in your drop area into your deck. So you actually get to rejuvenate 2 cards that you may need to draw later on. To be honest, this card, I mean, really, yeah, you're shuffling 2 Agent of Destructions that would be in your drop area back in your deck, but I mean, I feel like you have Broiley, Invincible, Agent of Destruction to get the Agent of Destruction from your drop area back into your hand. So I don't know if I would even be playing this in the Agent of Destruction deck. But, you know, hey, it is a good, solid counterplay card. Alright, then we're going to do Allied Reinforcement. So this one goes to the Chile Limo decks. This card gains Desire in all areas. And then if you, obviously, if your leader card is Chile or Limo, if you have no cards in your battle area, you get to play up to 1 green Broiley BR with cost of 4 from your deck, so it can start that chain. And then you even get to play a Chile or Limo from your deck. And so essentially, this is a 2 cost that you're getting to play 2 battle cards. Yeah. And up to 1 green card from your deck. Yeah, really, really good. Really, really good. Or the play up to 1 green card, Chile or Limo from your drop area. So you could revive from your drop area, or you can play up to 2 battle cards from your deck. And I believe, yeah, if you have no cards, you're going to play up to, yeah, 2 battle cards you get to play. That's crazy. For the cost of 2, could even be free if you're on the Awaken side, or the Wish side. Then we have the support for the Great Apes. Be honest with you, I wasn't too impressed with the support for the Great Apes. I mean, there are some solid cards, but King Vegeta, Royal Pride. If your leader's yellow, you get to look up 5 cards top your deck, add a 1 mono yellow Great Ape card from your hand, or among them to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Again, it's a unison card, only costs 2, so not too bad, but again, I mean, it does help you get your Great Ape, so if you're going to do the Great Ape archetype, could work. This one, -4, play up to 2 mono yellow Great Ape cards with different names and energy cost of 4 or less from your deck, then shuffle your deck. What I like about this one is, unlike the extra card, which says they got to be played from your hand, this one does say you get to play them from your deck, so essentially you can search for them. So I do see some value in this, depending on the Great Apes that you do play. I remember back in the day where all the Great Apes had blocker and barrier, and they, you know, double strike, and then you could reactivate them. Could still be an extremely powerful archetype. However, I feel like there's a lot more answers to barrier cards now. So I don't know if it'd be as powerful, just because there's a lot more removal now. So, yeah, we'll see. Then we have the Great Ape, Bardock, Might of the Resistance. Again, this goes for the Great Ape depths. Unique critical blocker. If your leader card is yellow at the end of a battle where this card is using a combo from your hand, play this card. A lot of the Great Apes, I know the other Bardock has the same thing, where you can combo and then you can evolve it. One thing to keep in mind, this one is a Bardock Zeno, so it would not work. I don't believe it's going to work with the other one, because it's just a regular Bardock. When you counter, or not when you counter, but when you combo, you get to evolve a Bardock card. Won't work with this because this one's a Bardock Zeno, but still, you know, extremely good blocker. Then we're going to get into the Bojack stuff, just for the sake of time, just because I know with the Bojack video, the video's getting a little long. I'm going to kind of look at these 3, we're going to kind of review the 3 Bojack cards grouped up. One thing I love about this Bojack card is that essentially it does give your leader an Awaken ability, because you can now Awaken and draw 2 cards, which was one of the biggest complaints with Bojack. This does allow you to do that now, to get a bunch of cards get a bunch of cards into your hand. Also, you get to play this guy for free if your opponent, if you have 2 or more Bojack Brigade cards, and that's going to be really easy with the Bojack deck. I love this card because it's essentially like another super combo in your deck. You have this, you have her out. Essentially, you get free combo power, and then if this card, once you combo with it, you get to return it to your hand. So you're not even using the card. You play her, combo, and then it goes right back into your hand. You play it, it gets another 5,000 combo for the battle. So the key thing to keep in mind is it only gains the 5k if the card is actually out. So it's when the card is comboed from your battle area. Then we have the Agents of Destruction Garlic Jr. Again, counterattack, play this card. When this card is played, play up to 1 Agent of Destruction card, but never costs 2 other than copies of this card from your deck with its skill negated for the turn, then shuffle your deck. Again, it's just helping you get out more and more and more Agents of Destructions, which goes with the SCR. So really, really, really solid card. And just a great negate, great counterattack for Agent of Destruction decks. And then this card, extra card, which actually does gain the Agent of Destruction in all areas, which is really good. This card allows you to look 2 cards top of your deck, add 2 cards to Agent of Destruction or card name among them to your hand, then place the cards at the bottom of your light deck in any order, or the bottom of your deck in any order, and you can't activate copies of this card for the turn. If you add a card to your hand, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. So again, this is going to help you awaken, this is going to help you filter to get the Agent of Destruction cards that you need in your hand. I do see Agent of Destruction being an extremely powerful archetype. Then we got Full Moon. If you have a Great Ape card in your battle area, you can't activate this card's activate battle skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. Or you can activate this card's activate battle skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. This is a really, really, really good card that I like for Great Apes because it allows you to essentially activate one of your blockers. So you could block and then activate battle. You could do this, give it plus 10k, and then activate it again so it could essentially block. And then you can play this for free. So this is just an excellent card for Great Ape decks. Again, I don't know if it's going to make it like meta, but a really, really good card for Great Ape decks. Finally, we're going to do the leader, and then we got the Goku, the skillless Goku cards we'll go over. The leader, again, just goes really good with the Agents of Destruction. So we'll look at the front side first. Again, 5 cards on top of your light deck, add an Agent of Destruction. So it's ensuring that you're getting the cards that you need in your hand for Agent of Destruction. It's going to make sure that you're going to get what you need when you need it. And then when it awakens, you draw 1, then switch 1 of your energy. The other one, the big one, is this one treats Agents of Destructions with no specific cost, which makes sure that you can just add all the Agent of Destructions to your deck. On the Awakened side, a lot of people are going to be like, hey, wait a minute, there is no draw power. But to be honest with you, do you really need it with all those Agents of Destructions and all the cards that you need in your hand to win? So activate main, choose 1 of your Agent of Destruction card with enter cards to 2 or less in your hand and play it. Notice it does not say negate its abilities. So you can essentially play a 2-drop for free and get its abilities for free. So very, very powerful effect. And then we have the activate main once per turn, costs 3. Choose 1 unison card with Agent of Destruction and its name in your hand and play it with 3 markers on it. Again, just a solid ability that allows you to get out your unison cards, allows you to get out your Agents of Destruction, get out the SCR, and basically go for game. So this one I'm actually the most excited about when it comes to the Son Goku cards. So the Son Goku and Vegeta Jr., basically the skillless cards. This one just has a really solid ability. Choose all of your... basically, you can play this thing for 1 because it has no specific cost because it's black. Choose this card and all of your skillless battle cards and they get plus 5,000 power for the turn. So if you got a lot of skillless cards on board, you play this out, like, opponent can be in a world of hurt real quick. And then you only got a -1 marker. You get to play 2 skillless battle cards and an energy cost of 1 from your drop area, deck or drop area, then shuffle your deck if you look through it. So this pairs really well with 1-drops, because once you start building your board full of 1-drops, and then you use this Unison skill ability to give all of them plus 5,000 for the turn, you can really start swamping your board really quick. And then it has the -2 ability, shuffle 2 skillless battle cards from your drop area into your deck, draw 2 cards. So again, this card gives you draw power when you need it as well. Play this for 2-3 energy, minus the 2, shuffle 2 from your drop area, and then you get to draw 2 cards. So not a bad trade-off. Then we have the Son Goku and Android 8 Bonds of Battle. This one is just solid to use with Android 8 and the Goku ability, where when you combo, you can destroy a battle card. And not to mention, not just destroy a battle card, but destroy a battle card during battle. So, you know, they could combo up to 100,000, and then you're just like, yep, okay, I'm going to combo one of my Gokus, destroy the battle card. So this is a really, really good card that pairs well with that. Not to mention it can play 2 skillless battle cards, which you could play a skillless Son Goku Child card, which even more adds value to this card. Then we got the Hachiak, Vengeful Agent of Destruction. We have even more Agent of Destruction stuff. Again, I mean, just another solid card with the Agent of Destruction. When this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and it costs 4 or less, send it to its warp, and then place up to 3 battle cards from your opponent's drop area at the bottom of their deck in any order. So not only is this card getting rid of a 4-drop or less, sending it to their warp, you're also choosing 3 cards that they may want in their drop area for combo reasons, and they get to you put them in their drop area. So Agent of Destruction just has so many answers. Then we do got the Hachiak card, which does help out Hachiak quite a bit with triple attack, EX Evolve for free with an energy cost of 8. Essentially allows you to continue attacking when your opponent necessarily can't. And then not to mention, if they do start trying to counter all of your attacks, they have to send a card from their hand in their warp. So this card just does so good. The next thing that I wanted to go over, we got the Max Power Kamehameha. This card is just value all the way around. Negate the attack. You can send 4 cards from your drop area to your warp. If you do, return this card from your drop area to your hand. And you can activate copies of this card for the turn. So, number 1, it's a counter attack that you can revive if need be. So, really, really good. But the really cool part I love about this card is it also has the Activate Main, that you can use this ability instead. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost greater than their current energy and send it to its owner's warp. So you could use this on your turn or your opponent's turn, and both of them have really, really solid effects. So this, I could see this is going to be another one of those cards that are going to be up there in value that a lot of people are going to want to run. It's just, it's value. You know, you got the counterattack you can revive, or you can blow up one of your opponent's battle cards. I've seen people call this the SCR killer. Then we have the multicolor cards, the Violet Rush Bojack. This was meant for Bojack decks. I will tell you, this is meant for any blue-yellow deck in general. I mean, how can you combo a blue-yellow? You pay yellow energy, so you get to play this card. Then you get Aegis for the turn, or once per turn you can do Aegis. And then when you do use your Aegis ability, you get to draw a card. So you're basically untapping 2 energy, discarding a blue-yellow, and then you get to draw the card that you just discarded, so you're not even losing card advantage, and you just gain 2 energy. And it's a 7-drop. I mean, for 20k. So, I mean, this card's just great all the way around. If they didn't put the unique tag on this, like I could see 3-4 of these out in play, easy, no problem. And then finally, we do have Super 17, Hell's Ultimate Weapon. If your card is again, this goes for our Android 21 decks. What I love about this card is it does give those 21 decks, you know, because they do generally like to ramp up and get a lot of energy out. Once this card is, you play this card from your energy, you get to choose 3 Android cards and their cost of 5 or less and play them from your energy area. So you can just flood the board and then go directly right at your opponent. And then this card is a safe card to play in your energy because you're going to tap your energy and then you're going to play it directly from your energy. So, really, 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 really solid card. Alright, well that is all of the anniversary cards. I cannot wait for the deck pro or for anniversary box to come out. My guess, I think Agent of Destruction decks, I think has the best chance in my opinion of being meta. Vegito, I want it to be meta. I don't know. It's going to be kind of interesting to see what decks come of it. I will say the Great Apes, yeah, those could. I just wonder if a lot of people are going to be running a lot of anti-barrier cards. I don't think Gotenks is going to become meta, but again, I have been wrong in the past. So we'll have to see what happens. But alright, Metamaniacs, I just want to give a shout out to Renee and Trent from TAC Games. Thank you guys so much for being Patreon supporters. I know there's many, many, many others of you that are at the end of the video as well. Thank you so much for being Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. And yeah, look forward to Dragon Ball Super content every Thursday. So, alright, I will talk to you later.